You have a slightly different view today because in my other spot that I normally sit in, I have a leak in my camper this morning. Good morning. You have a slightly different view today because in my other spot that I normally sit in, I have a leak in my camper this morning. Okay, so I just woke up to seeing this on my table. So I looked up at the vent to see if I had it open, and it's not open, but I saw this, and I think that's where it's leaking from. It looks like the seal, yep, that's where it's leaking from. The seal is cracked. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to repair that today. That stinks. My first camper repair. Actually, I did have to replace my tires too. So I'll talk a little about that this morning as well. So I'm so glad that my computer was closed because that's where I keep my computer, at that seat. And for some reason last night I closed it, which I usually don't bother doing, but I did. I came out of my bunk to the table and I saw some papers that I had on top of my computer. There were a couple drops of water on them. So I was like, oh no. And then I heard another drop fall, and I was just thinking, oh, maybe I left my fan vent open. And I looked up and I took video to show you that there is, it looks like there's a crack in the seal around the vent. And that must be why it's leaking. And there was, everything's wet. It was snowing and sleeting, and I probably had snow sitting on the roof of the trailer, which melted, and now it's leaking. Unless, I'm wondering if that's condensation inside the vent, which wouldn't be good. But with my electric heater, I have been getting condensation on the windows. I need to be careful with that because I don't want to get mold in the camper. But pretty soon I won't need the heat on. But yeah, I should get the windows. I don't bother opening the windows when it's damp out because that's just going to get more humidity and wetness in the camper. Maybe I'll try those damp rid things, or just turn the AC on because I know that gets the moisture out of the air. If that works the same way as a house one does. So what else is going on? Repairs. So I got to repair that. My first trip, I went down to South Carolina and I checked the air in the tires and they had looked soft to me. But I had the correct PSI in the tires. So the tires looked soft even though I had the correct PSI. So I went on a Riverside Retro forum to see if anyone else complained about the tires, and sure enough, I had, they're called Coker tires. They're red with white sidewall, and people were saying that Riverside Retro was using them on this year camper, 2017, and I think 2016. So on the forum, people were saying that they were using these tires, that Riverside was using these tires, and that they were blowing, that they were meant for cars and not trailers, and even though they were rated for the weight of the trailer, that they just weren't meant for trailers and they were blowing, and people couldn't understand why there wasn't a recall on them. And the following year, the trailer company was using different tires, that they weren't using those anymore. Some people even said that they went back to the dealer and demanded different tires. I bought the trailer used as is, so I didn't try to go back, you know. Luckily, my model only had 2 tires, not 4 tires. So I looked at the other tires people were buying, and I don't know where my receipt is right now, but I went to a tire place and it was going to be on my day driving back home, and they were booked solid at a Goodyear. And I said, well, I just gotta wait. I'll sit here and wait because I can't go anywhere. So Mrs. Cat Jones and I just waited inside, and um, there was I think it was called Best Wings USA or something next door. So I ordered some wings, and I had some wings, and I got mild instead of yumminess. So they kind of just tasted like grease, and I wish I had opted for some more flavorful wings. But it was fun to go in there because the guy that was in the kitchen was singing. He was like serenading the girl at the register, and it was sweet. So it was a nice experience anyway for the music aspect. So I had new tires put on, and so they're on the vehicle now. So I feel safer, and I got out of there for under $400. And oh, and this was interesting. I didn't know this, but I said, how many miles should the tire last? And he's like, well, they're good tires, but we don't do a mile warranty on trailer tires because sometimes trailers just sit and people don't drive them and they get dry rot, or you can't really count the miles on a trailer because there's no speedometer, and all these other reasons. I said, yeah, I'm not quoting you on any of this. I'm just curious, like, next month, am I going to need new tires, or are these going to blow out on me next week? Like, I just need a peace of mind that I'm going to be good for a while. He's like, oh yeah, these will be good for you. So I should have pulled up that forum and wrote down what everybody was getting, because I wouldn't mind paying extra for the best tires I could get that I knew were going to last long. Also, the Coker tires, the whitewall tires that I had, they had like webbing cracking in them, and I'll put a close-up picture during this video, and I don't know if that's what dry rot looks like or what, but it didn't look right to me. Like, I'd never noticed a tire look like that, but also I never had white wall tires, so I don't know if that was just like the white paint or whatever the white is, like, just if that's what happens to those. So anyway, I have new tires on my trailer and a brand new vehicle that has obviously new tires, so I should be good for a while. And now I just gotta fix this leak that seems to have stopped. I just turned the vent tighter to make sure I had it all the way righty-tighty as much as it could go, and it doesn't seem to be dripping now, so maybe I just didn't have it all the way shut. Fingers crossed. I went to a Family Dollar the other day, or Dollar General, and found this. I don't know if you're seeing it forward or backwards, or if I can flip it, but it says there's no place like home. And I have light blue chalk paint. This is kind of minty green. And so I have light blue chalk paint that is this color, more this color, like icy blue. So I'm going to paint over this on icy blue, and if I paint over the words, maybe if I just do the one coat, I could see where the letters are and then go over them in a Sharpie, but they're not going to look that good. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I don't like this green color, so I got to figure something out. But I was going to hang that over by the door for my keys for my drop zone. I hung the shower curtain back up. That fell during my commute to South Carolina. I feel like I really want to paint all this wood white. I feel like I wanted to sit on it for a year before I made any modifications or big things like that, because if for some reason I wanted to change to a different camper, I didn't want the trade-in value of this to go down, but I feel like this camper has been perfect for me, and I can't imagine any reason I would want to trade it. I feel like it's the perfect size for what I need. And if you could see right here, behind the seat, there's like a 6-inch gap between the seat and the wall, and it's the perfect size for my art portfolios and my giant pads of drawing paper. Oh, I have my music stand, and I could probably put my camera tripod in there as well. And I was thinking about getting something to store my pencils. I don't know, like this camper's perfect. The bunks are perfect. The large dinette with the giant table's perfect for larger drawings. I have just enough storage I need for kitchen and cleaning supplies. The refrigerator's larger than I need. But I was thinking the extra space in the fridge that I'm not using, there's no reason that I can't store dry food in there. Like, that could just become my cupboard as well. Unless, I don't know if that'll make food go stale. Like, I don't know, I'd have to research it. For some reason, I'm thinking you're not supposed to store aluminum cans in refrigerators. Maybe that was just my paranoid mom. Like, if we open a can of raviolis, that I thought we couldn't store the open can in the fridge because something would happen to the food because of the aluminum. I'll have to research it. But, and then, like, things that I have on my kitchen countertop, like knives or coffee pot, things like that, I could put into the cupboards so it wouldn't look as cluttered. Because if things are cluttered, it starts to look messy in a tiny space. I think I'm gonna do a little housework today and do some spring cleaning. It always feels good to have the windows open and get some fresh air and do some cleaning in here. And oh, I ordered a portable electric clothes washer. So when that comes, I will do a review on that. It has a wash cycle and a spin cycle. And then I could just hang clothes on hangers to dry all the way. And I could, like, put my awning out and hang them on hangers there. Or just hang them in the camper somewhere. So they could dry out the rest of the way. And I like hanging clothes to dry because it makes the camper smell nice, you know. Nothing else really. I had a sad day yesterday. Thank you for the people that watched that video and shot me some support through the comments. I needed it. Needed that lift me up. Feeling much better today. If anybody has any question or comments for me, leave them in the comments, and I will always answer things people leave in the comments. I like to read messages from people and see what you're thinking about my travels. Oh, today I have a delivery coming from Home Depot. I'm in my son's yard now, and the yard is basically a swamp like it was last spring. And I park here when I'm in New Jersey. So I'm going to put a driveway down of pea gravel, pea stone. So I bought 2x6s with stones that join the 2x6s. I made a patio area last spring with this method, and I'm doing a driveway this spring on the swampy side of the yard, which that's why I did the patio, because the yard was such a swamp you couldn't use the yard. So I made this nice seating area, and I'll post pictures of that. And the driveway, I'm laying out the planks and boards, and instead of gardenscaping cloth to block the weeds, I was actually reading that people use canvas drop cloths, that it blocks the grass better from growing up through, and it lets the water go through, and it's less expensive and easier to lay out. So I bought big canvas drop cloths to throw down, and then I'm going to have the pea gravel delivered to go on top of that. So I'll document that as well and make a video on that in case people want an inexpensive driveway to put down. you know, if you don't want to go through the permit process of having cement poured and everything, this is a good, inexpensive way. You don't have to level the yard or anything, because wherever there's dips, the pea gravel will just fill it in. It's like self-leveling, you know? And it's quick and easy, and you just have the gravel dumped and you rake it out. So that's all. Everybody have a good day. Bye.